Welcome back. So I'm out today, got Steph and both the dogs with us. You've met Moxter before, you've not met Tiny Tina yet. She's our new addition to the family. I'll do a video about her at a later stage. So we're out today looking for the Duke of Lancaster ship. I'm not 100% sure where it is. We've used the sat nav to get as close by, and then we're just going on a bit of a recce to look for it. So all said and done, I'll find it and then I'll get some nice pictures of it. So it didn't take too long at all to find. Sorry, I'm currently under a bridge, it's a bit echoey. Yeah, it didn't take too long to find. Well, seconds literally. So we're just coming up upon it now. It's something I didn't even know existed. So, pretty cool. So in front you can see it's the Duke of Lancaster boat. It was beached here in 2010. So I'm trying to film what I can of the ship. You can't get overly close to it because there is a bit of a fence in the way. I've just been informed by Steph that apparently you can rent it out. It's called the Fun Ship, so you can use it for weddings and parties and stuff like that. We were just discussing how good it'd actually be for something like a Halloween party, because it definitely, as much as I don't believe in stuff like that, looks really haunted to me. As you can see, it still contains its lifeboats, they're still attached to it. We're just discussing whether or not, I don't know if anybody can help me put it in the comments, whether or not they actually put people in them before dropping them down, or if they drop them down and then populate them. For me, I don't think I'd like to be in one of them rickety ships when it's falling off the boat. It's looking like this is about as close as you can get to the ship. It's pretty cool. I can share where it is for anybody who wants to know. I'll put it down in the description. It is located just off the River Dee. Well, that was the Duke of Lancaster ship, not the Duke of Edinburgh, as I've just said. Is it worth a visit? I don't think so, not really. There's not a great deal you can see. Potentially if you rent it, it'd be alright. I would say it's a reasonably nice sort of, I don't know if it's seafront or riverfront walk that we found just off it. So I'm going to have a bit of a wander down here and see what we find. Like I said, I wouldn't rush out to see the ship unless you pay to rent it. It does look like you can view it because there was a big information point there, but it wasn't open today. So we've either come out of season or it's something that they just don't do anymore. So seeing as the Duke of Lancaster was a bit of a bust and it was a 60-mile drive that definitely wasn't worth doing, I'll tell a bit of a story. So as you can see, Steph's in the background. Say hi, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
So I made a challenge with Steph. So when we originally set the channel up, it's Steph who wanted to set one up because she's one of the the dogs are getting tangled, as you can see, because they're idiots. The hazards of having a naughty Jack Russell and a puppy. Get back here. So back to what I was saying. So the original idea was I wanted Steph to set up a channel because she is one of the funniest hikers I've ever met. She absolutely loves it. She takes the most motivating I've ever met in anybody in my life, and then when you're walking up there, it's like walking up with Carl Pilkington, just with boobs and nicer hair. I've never known anybody in my life question why you have to walk uphill to get up a hill, but she'll do stuff like that. So what he agreed with her was, when I set up the channel with Dylan, that I was going to get her to do it. So I said to her, when I get to 1,000 subscribers, will she set up a channel? Will she do some videos? And she agreed. So part of the reason I wanted to do it was me and Steph went out for a few beers. I think it was about 2 years ago. And while I was out, just before we'd gone, Steph wanted to look nice, so she'd been to the hairdressers and she'd had her hair dyed grey, like everybody does, that silvery colour. Well, she came back, so naturally, me being me, I have to take the mickey a little bit. So I started calling her Ethel, because every elderly person that's female is called Ethel. Then, after a few beers and a couple of whiskies, I realised she's called Steph, so I can attach that to Ethel and she can become Steffel. And then, as the night went on, she got increasingly more annoyed with me, wouldn't speak to me. I was telling everybody that we met while I was out, she was called Steffel, so everybody in the pub was calling her Steffel. By the end of the night, she was a bit of a legend. Everybody in there wanted to speak to her, everybody was coming sitting with us. And then, at that point, about 6 months later, we started doing the Ethels. And we wasn't really tracking them at the time. We was just walking them, we was doing a lot of walks in the Peak District, that's where I was working at the time. So, I found out that they were called the Ethels, and then it became a bit of a running joke that we was going to get Steffel and the Ethels. So what I'm going to do is, as much as she has agreed, and she will be doing it when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I think we should sort of try and push it along a little bit earlier. So I'm going to set up a hashtag. I'll include it at the bottom of the video. I would point, but you know, Mox is going to rip the phone out of my hand. So I'm going to put a hashtag of hashtag get Steffel in the Ethels. Anybody who watches it, share the hashtag, bombard it, we'll see what we can do. If I get enough interest in enough people that are hashtagging it, I'll share a link to her Instagram so then you can start sending her inboxes and we will get Steffel and the Ethels. So, there's not a real great deal actually we can speak about, nothing really else to talk about. So, I'll end it there. Say goodbye, Steph.
Bye.
And I will catch you in the next one.